So as mentioned, since we are studying the organic compounds, it's important that we know how to classify them and how to name them. So the classification and naming is following. It is important for us to understand that organic compounds are grouped or classified into what we call homologous series. So instead of saying they are groups, we will say they are homologous series. And this is based on their atoms. So what types of atoms they have? Do they have carbon? They will have carbon. Do they have oxygen? Do they have halogens, chlorine, bromine, fluorine, and all those other ones? Or do they have what type of bonds they have, as well as intermolecular forces? The intermolecular forces part is going to be central because there are questions that are based on that, because intermolecular forces influence the boiling points, melting points, as well as vapor pressure of these substances. For example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, but definitely you can't boil gold or money, the metal, at 100 degrees Celsius. You need thousands and thousands of degrees in order for metals to start boiling, for most metals to start boiling. So our rules will be from what we call the IUPAC, which are the ones that control the naming, so that anybody throughout the world, when they see a compound, they will give it the same name. So it's very important that we follow those particular rules. So firstly, it is important that we understand that the naming will consist of 3 sections. So firstly, we will have the root name. The root name is determined by the number of carbon atoms in the longest chain. We will discuss the longest chain when we get to branching later on, but we are just saying that the number of carbons will determine the root name. And here is a list of the root names that we are required to know for grade 12. The first 8 are the most important, but of course we added the 9 and the 10 just in case they do come up. We need to know how to deal with them. But based on the past papers, the first 8 are the ones that we need to deal with. So, for example, if a particular substance has 5 carbons in its longest chain, its root name will have pent. If it has 6, it will have hex, and all the other ones similar to this. So you can just write this down and keep it safe. So you can pause the video, write this down, keep it safe and near you, because all the naming that we do will be related to this. I might not come back and show this particular slide. Alright, so the IUPAC naming classifies the name into 3 sections. That we have the root name, which is determined by the C atoms. Then we will have the suffix, which comes after the root name. This will depend on the homologous series that the compound belongs to. For example, is it an alcohol? Is it an acid, carboxylic acid? Is it a alkane, alkene? We will talk about all of those ones, but that's what's going to determine the suffix. Then later on, we will have what we call prefixes. There are various factors that influence the prefixes, so we will do them one by one until we get used to them, and then come back and combine all the rules we have so that we can name even complex compounds.